Oh, my goodness. You startled me. Please refrain from doing that ever again. I don't know if my heart can deal with the strain of almost being slashed off by a horse, defending the kingdom from invading tyrants, and having you sneak up on me. So, what do I owe the pleasure of your presence today? I figured you'd be finished with your work in the stables and you would want to be itching to go home, get washed up, have some dinner, and put yourself right to bed. You were at my jousting match this afternoon? Hold on. If you were there this afternoon, that means you weren't at the stables, where you work. I'm beginning to think you are going to be one of those delinquents that I have to round up. Are you going to be a problem for me? Good. I'm glad you're not going to be. Well, since you were there, did you enjoy yourself? Yes, my opponent, Sir Blakewood, certainly wasn't too pleased when he dropped to the floor like a sack of potatoes. But if I'm being completely honest, I enjoyed watching him sneering at me when we shook hands at the end of our match. And he had to look straight into my eyes. Does it make me an awful person to find it all too entertaining to see a cocky and entirely too pompous knight such as Sir Blakewood fighting a fit of rage at being beaten by a lady? It doesn't, does it? I appreciate you saying that. It was actually Sir Blakewood who was my training partner when I first became a knight a couple of years ago. He didn't go easy on me, which I admired and I am thankful for, and it paid off in the end, much to his dismay. Well, that's quite the question to ask. Why did I become a knight? I suppose the most honest answer I can give is I wanted to help and protect people, but I'm afraid that's not the only reason why. I also wanted to prove that women could be knights as well. So I trained, and eventually I was awarded the opportunity to become the first lady knight this kingdom has ever seen. That is my greatest accomplishment in my life so far, even if my parents aren't exactly pleased with me for it. Yes, just like your parents, mine also wanted me to go into the family business, but ours was dressmaking. I would have had an easy in, considering the Queen and I grew up together and were childhood best friends, so my family had the opportunity to make gowns for all the special occasions, which are far too many in my personal opinion. But these hands are far more suited for holding a sword rather than a needle and thread, don't you think? Let's see your hand. Quite a good hand to hold a sword, I would say. Perhaps you'd like to give it a try then. Oh, no need to worry about doing any real damage. These swords that we practice with here are made out of wood, so there's no beheading taking place here today, if that brings you any sense of comfort. That is, unless, of course, you're scared. Aha! That's the spirit. Here, catch the sword. Good. Now, show me your fighting stance. Even if you don't know a proper fighting stance, just show me what you think is the right way to stand so you can be on the offensive. Honestly, not bad. You have the right idea with your feet placed shoulder length apart and your knees bent, but your arms are tucked in too close to your body. If you have your arms kept tight right up against you that way, then you might not be able to defend yourself against someone trying to, say, sweep you out from under your knees. And just like that, you're down. If I were trying to end you right here and now, I could easily just be on top of you, like so, keeping you in position with my legs and take my sword and easily slice your throat. But luckily for you, I'm on your side. So, I'll just get off you, and the least I can do after having you go crashing on the ground like Sir Blakewood did earlier this afternoon is offer you a hand in getting up. There you are, back up on your feet and only slightly dusty. Here, let me brush you off. Good as new, and ready for another go, if you're up for the challenge, perhaps. Quite determined, aren't you? I admire that in people. All right then. Take your stance and ready yourself to... Whoa! Well, that certainly caught me off guard. Normally, I would say you were out of line taking out a knight when she was unprepared. But I have to hand it to you. I like the deception tactic. Wait until your opponent is vulnerable and thinking they got you when really, you were waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike. I applaud you for your strategy. You might want to consider becoming a knight yourself. So, we're even then, are we? If that is the case, mind giving me a hand up off this floor? Thank you. You thought you were the only one who was going to use that trick to get the leg up on someone, were you? Well, you thought wrong. Now you're back where you were before, and I'm back where I belong. On top and the victor. Perhaps this rather intimate position, me being the one who's literally hanging myself over top of you with your back to the ground and staring up at me, it might not be the best one to tell you that you have beautiful hair, but I never did quite have the best sense of timing. Right, well, if we can both call it a truce, let's get back onto our feet and shake hands so we can congratulate the other on being the winner of their respective achievement. Sound fair? Excellent. I'll just get off of you here. There we are. And now you can gather yourself up, just like so, and shake hands. There we are. I haven't been silly like this since I was a child, probably 7 or 8 years old. I used to play with my best friend, Princess Delilah. She never was one for roughhousing, and I never was one for dressing up and pretending to rule a kingdom of dolls. So it's amazing that her and I even got along. Yes, I do mean the queen that you know her as today. However, when we were young, Delilah was a princess and didn't like it when I pulled on her hair and called her strawberry cheeks because when she was cross, she would turn this sweet little red color and go stomping off when things didn't go her way. Actually, now that I think about it, you wouldn't know about Queen Delilah since you just recently moved here and she's been wrapped up in her business at the castle with her upcoming wedding arrangements. I've only been hearing bits and pieces here and there when I pass by, but those things do give me a headache. Anyway, I'm just about done here, so I was wondering if you'd like, we could go and... Oh, the royal horses. What are they doing here? Good day to you, Delilah. Oh, pardon me. Your Majesty. To what do I owe the pleasure of your appearance here, my queen? You're coming to find your fiancé, are you? Would you like me to accompany you to where they may be, or do you think you'll be able to find them with your royal cavalry with you? Ah, hello again, Sir Blakewood. Your Highness, pardon me, but I think you're mistaken. They aren't royalty, they're the new stable hand. Oh. I'm the one who's mistaken, am I? Is this true? Ah. My apologies. Please forgive me, Your Grace. I did not mean to bother you with such pointless questions. And you, Your Highness. I apologize for the lack of formalities with the new royalty of the kingdom, and I look forward to serving you in the future days to come. If you wouldn't mind, my queen, since you have found whom you have been searching for and I'm not needed, I will be on my way. I believe it is time for me to go get washed up and wind down from the excitement that was this day. So, I bid you both farewell.